Alright, ladies and gents, today I'm talking about new fragrances. Whether they're launched and I have them here and I'm going to do first impressions for you, or some new ones that are coming out very soon that I'm excited about. So if you want to find out about new, launching soon fragrances, then please stay tuned. Yes, exciting new fragrances coming out always. Although I've got like 6 of them here today, either in bottle form or sample form, and I'm going to let you know about these 6, but the remainder of them, about 18 more fragrances that are soon to launch that I'm very excited about. So before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So let me know, which fragrances are you excited about that are launching soon or that just launched? I'll be doing videos like this every 3 weeks. I've done several in the past and I've got them on the channel. You can go catch them. But today I've got some fragrances here that I've already received or purchased that I'm going to let you know about, or in addition to that, there's all the new stuff that are soon to launch as well. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of DUSITA, PARFUMS DUSITA, and their latest fragrance called ANAMCARA. So if you haven't caught my video that I did with her, a Zoom video, she discussed the new fragrance coming out, but it doesn't sound like this is that fragrance because she did mention patchouli, and this one doesn't seem like it's featuring patchouli. I have it in a box here and it was sent to me recently as a small fragrance. Right here, ANAMCARA features notes of orange blossom, jasmine, vetiver, tuberose, tea, peach, blood orange, freesia, sandalwood, cedar, rose, and vanilla. So when I first smelled this one, I did smell the sample and I actually Instagrammed about it. This is the bottle right here. It reminded me of jasmine tea. In San Francisco, I've gone to many Chinese restaurants and they do serve jasmine tea. And this is what this reminded me of. So I didn't get the patchouli in this, which I thought that the next fragrance that DUSITA was going to have, and another one after that, was going to be patchouli. But to me, this is very jasmine forward and orange blossom forward. So it's those two notes together. You know, I think orange blossom and jasmine work perfectly together, and I think they are working perfectly here as well. But it does remind me of jasmine tea. I don't know if you guys have ever had jasmine tea. They do serve it here in San Francisco, and when I visit some Chinese restaurants, or maybe even other restaurants. But that's what it reminds me of. It smells like that. And that's actually really gorgeous. It's fresh, but it's powdery. Lots of floral notes, white flowers. Very gorgeous, but I think this is quite feminine as a smell. But I quite like this one. It's definitely fantastic smelling. Either way, that's the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about, is ANAMCARA from the house of PARFUMS DUSITA. If you haven't caught my Zoom video I did with her, go catch it. We are doing a full bottle worldwide giveaway of a fragrance called Fleur de Lalita. And this, to me, this ANAMCARA is also very floral. So let's see when that patchouli fragrance comes out. Which is kind of like, I feel like, I thought she said patchouli, but we got a jasmine orange blossom bomb. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is a new house that Francesca Bianchi is launching called HEDONIK. I did an Instagram live with her over on Instagram. If you haven't caught that, go catch it, where she discusses the brand. And the fragrance that she's launching from this brand, along with accessories, leather and kind of fetish accessories, it's called Divine Perversion. So let's open this up and see what this one's all about. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Francesca Bianchi's fragrances or this new brand she's launching. Here's a little catalog, and there's some images of this beautiful woman with kind of accessories that kind of leather type of accessories, as you can see. So this is a leather fragrance, obviously, and there's just images of this woman, and then of course you could see the pictures of the accessories that she's wearing. So let's go ahead and smell this fragrance called Divine Perversion. It comes in a box like this. Okay, so this is Divine Perversion from HEDONIK. So I'll tell you all about this one. According to the notes, this is a completely different sprayer. Before I get to the notes, it's a completely different sprayer or a bottle in comparison to Francesca Bianchi's other fragrances. I like this kind of a star-shaped looking bottle. It is a 50 ml, but her previous line, her original line, comes in 30 ml bottles. So I definitely got a whiff of leather as soon as it's sprayed, but this, according to the notes, has notes of raspberry, leather, caramel, amber, woods, animalic notes, iris, rose, pink pepper. So there is a little bit of an ambery touch, and there's a kind of a powdery iris touch in here as well. I'm certainly getting the leather and the fruity raspberry, but to me it's kind of an ambery take on leather. There's some sweet notes there. Woods, of course, light animalic, not much. It's not overly animalic, I think, but it's there. You can kind of lightly pick it up, of course, coming with the leathery touches, I think. I think it's nice. If you like an ambery leather, check this one out. It does remind me a little bit of the fragrances from Francesca Bianchi. So she's definitely got a signature touch there, and I'm reminded of the fragrances from that line. So either way, that is HEDONIK, and the fragrance is called Divine Perversion. This is it right here. Alright, Louis Vuitton has a new fragrance called Spell on You, this one right here. And let's smell this one. So Spell on You is the latest release from Louis Vuitton until they launch their Frank Gehry designed bottle top extracts or X-ray concentration fragrances. This to me is a very rosy, powdery experience. At least to me it is, but it has green touches. Leans feminine for sure, but I like that contrast of powdery iris with green touches, and then of course rose. But this has a lipsticky vibe as well, kind of a green lipsticky vibe. But rose, green notes, iris, violet, jasmine, peach, white musk, acacia flower. A little bit of a mimosa kind of a touch in there. I think it's pleasant. It's very, very floral, very, very powdery, again with that kind of lipsticky touch, but very feminine as well. So pleasant scent. Check that out if you don't know it. So I don't know if you know the house of Atelier Oblique. They have a new fragrance called Moonsai. Comes in a box like this. Let's go ahead and smell this one. One of my favorite fragrances from this house is Bohemian Woods. I speak about it quite frequently, but Moonsai is this right here. Moonsai features notes of coffee, vetiver, oakmoss, patchouli, leather, geranium, floral notes, papyrus, bergamot, elemi, rosemary, and pine. Lots of unique notes there. Let's see how this smells. I definitely got the coffee, and I definitely got a vetiver for sure. The pine is there as well, but I'm starting to smell some sweet touches. It's very grassy and also green, kind of earthy. Wow. I like that whole contrast of the coffee with all these kind of like earthy, grassy, woody, green notes. Very, very interesting. I like coffee and fragrances, but I've never smelled coffee and fragrances like this. There's definitely a presence of coffee. It kind of hints at something like Xerjoff's Golden Green, but this one actually definitely has a coffee presence and a lot of green, aromatic, earthy, woody touches, whereas that fragrance, Golden Green, doesn't have much of a coffee presence. They have a green coffee accord or smell in there. But this one you can definitely pick up that coffee. It's a dry experience, and it also smells very autumn-like. There's a very autumn-like smell with this one. That's really nice. So Moonsai from Atelier Oblique. Let me know if you know this house. Have you smelled their fragrances? Put a comment down so I can find out. So Memo Paris has a new fragrance called Corfu. Ever since I started watching this British show, the Durrells or Darrells in Corfu, I've wanted to visit Corfu. So now we have a fragrance experience with this island in Greece. So let's see how that is. So this is Corfu. Let me know who's a fan of Memo Paris's fragrances. This one to me sounds like it's going to be fruity, aromatic, woody. Maybe grassy as well. But rhubarb, lemons, rose, musk, mandarin orange, oranges, raspberry, sandalwood, basil, blackcurrant. So I feel like they've actually taken, you know, the fruits and the, you know, the greens and growth there and on the island of Corfu and put it into a perfume form. The rhubarb is very, very prominent. So is the rose, and I like the rose and rhubarb working together. Rhubarb to me has some light rosy fruitiness, so rose and rhubarb work really great. But lots of citruses here and musk, and typically it smells really, really great. Memo Paris does some great fragrances. This smells fantastic, but it's very, very fresh. To me, I think this is more of like a summer, spring, summer, and warm fall kind of days fragrance. So that's Corfu. Let me know if you're interested in a full review of this one. And let me know if you're a fan of this particular house and what your favorite fragrances are from Memo Paris. Before I continue, I wanted to remind everyone that there still are a few of my Twisted Lily sample sets available. If you haven't bought one of these, it's $25 and it comes with 5 samples of some of my favorite fragrances, and there's a $25 gift card to apply towards a full bottle purchase at Twisted Lily, but there is a discount code for this as well, so you're not paying $25, you're saving 10% off as well. I have that info in the box, and this is a great way to discover some fragrances if you're new to niche perfumes. So Guy Fawkes has a new fragrance out, and I just received some samples from them, and it's in here. It's called Tyler, and it launches very, very soon on Thursday the 30th. And I want to smell this and let you know what I think about Tyler as a fragrance. Alright, so Tyler launches on Thursday the 30th, and it features notes of bergamot zest, pineapple leaf, mandarin orange, coastal sage, coconut water, juniper, cedarwood, patchouli. So here's the sample Tyler. I don't know if you can focus that on or not, but let's go ahead and see how this one is. So right off the bat, I'm getting lots of freshness, lots of zingy freshness with citruses. There's that unique pineapple leaf note coming in. Definitely very, very aromatic. I'm not picking up much of the coconut water, but I'm getting like the juniper and like light woodiness in here as well. Very, very pleasant fragrance. I think it's definitely in line with this collection of fragrances. I can see this one being like a crowd pleaser because it smells very fresh. It's aromatic, it's a little spicy, also very, very juicy, citrusy. There's some zing to it as well. So that's Guy Fawkes's Tyler. If you don't know this house, let me know. I do have a full video of some of their earlier fragrances with the owner of the brand on the channel you can go catch. And their fragrances are not that expensive either. So that's Guy Fawkes. Tyler launches on Thursday the 30th. And the rest of the fragrances I'm going to talk to you about are not launched, and I don't have fragrances here, or maybe they are launched. But Costume National, I'm talking about 2 Costume National fragrances today. First one is Secret Woods, created by Julien Rasquinet, and it features notes of grapefruit, bergamot accord, Balkan juniper, nutmeg, saffron, styrax, sandalwood, patchouli, leather, and vetiver. I'm a fan of Julien Rasquinet's fragrances, and I'm very excited about Secret Woods. I feel like this is kind of like that warm, spicy, ambery, fougere style fragrance according to my research, and I like this idea, and I love this bottle too. The blue is really, really great. I'm still waiting for Costume National Homme Parfum. Can't get my hands on one of those, but this one sounds great. Is it going to launch here in the States? I don't know. We shall see. But Secret Woods from Costume National sounds great. And then also Super Gloss, which launched already, is another one that I'm excited about, created by my favorite perfumer, Dominique Ropian. This one seems like it's a feminine-leaning fragrance. Secret Woods, on the other hand, is a masculine-leaning fragrance. And then Super Gloss features notes of red berries, rose, patchouli, vetiver, orange blossom, cedar, benzoin, osmanthus, and lily of the valley. So this one sounds really, really great to me too, although I like fruit and rose together, and of course patchouli comes in as well, which is a very satisfactory note to me, my favorite note. So I think this one does sound great. Lily of the Valley is always great in fragrances, but it does seem like it is leaning feminine for sure. But I think Costume National does a little gender bending fragrances, so I'm definitely curious to check out Super Gloss. But let me know if anyone sampled this one. Put a comment down so I can find out any of the fragrances I've spoken about so far today. If you've sampled them, what are your thoughts about them? Put a comment so I can find out. AMOUAGE has 3 updates to their previous fragrances launching soon. Reflection 45 is the first one I'm going to speak about, but I'm excited about Reflection 45. They did this with Interlude Man. They launched Interlude 53. Now we have Reflection 45 and a few others with similar theme. And I think they're just updating the fragrances and making them intensified. But this Reflection 45 has notes of vetiver, patchouli, sandalwood, cedarwood, myrrh, frankincense, apopanax, neroli, iris, jasmine, angelica, tonka beans, benzoin, pink pepper, clary sage, lavender, cardamom, juniper berry. Lots of stuff going on here. Lots of stuff. Is it similar to the previous Reflection? Because the notes don't seem similar, although there are some similar notes and they seem a little more notes have been added to it. So I'm very, very excited about this Reflection 45. I do enjoy Reflection Man. I have a full review of it on the channel. So let's see how Reflection 45 is going to be, because I can't wait to smell it. Now 2 more from AMOUAGE. AMOUAGE Honor 43. I don't know much about Honor, the collection of Honor fragrances, and the collection of Epic fragrances, because they have Honor 43 and Epic 56. I'm going to speak about Honor 43 first, because since I'm so unfamiliar with this line, I'm very, very curious about this, and now to check out the Honor collection, both for men and women. But Honor 43 features notes of pepper, rhubarb leaf, coriander, jasmine, tuberose, gardenia, lily of the valley, carnation, sandalwood, labdanum, vetiver, frankincense. Anyone familiar with Honor? Most likely this is a Honor Women update, because it comes in the feminine bottle, the smaller bottle. But I'm curious to smell. Rhubarb leaf comes in here, but it sounds very, very floral. Very curious to try Honor 43. Now, Epic 56 is another collection. Epic fragrances for both men and women are ones that I've completely dismissed. Not dismissed as in smelled them, just completely ignored them and forgotten about them. So now I want to circle back to the whole entire collection, including this new Epic 56. Once again, it's in the small bottle. Features notes of cumin, pink pepper, cinnamon, damask rose, geranium, jasmine, tea, amber, gaiac wood, iris, musk, oud, patchouli, sandalwood, vanilla, frankincense. A lot of stuff going on. I believe Epic is a fragrance that, or Epic Woman is a fragrance that Cecile Zarokian worked on in the past. I could be wrong. But this one sounds interesting too. This one sounds not necessarily overly feminine like Honor 43. This seems very, very masculine with some of the notes like geranium, spices, and things like that. Seems a little masculine in comparison to a feminine leaning fragrance. And of course, AMOUAGE does gender bending fragrances quite a bit. You know, men can wear the women's, the women can wear the men's, because, you know, Lyric Man is a bit on the feminine side. Lyric Woman, I believe, is unisex. So yeah, they have fragrances like this. So very, very curious and excited about these new updates for AMOUAGE fragrances. What are your thoughts about these AMOUAGE fragrances? Are you familiar with the Honor collection and then also the Epic collection of fragrances from AMOUAGE? Definitely am familiar with Reflection Man. Not really familiar with Reflection Woman though. We shall see. Definitely going to circle back to all these fragrances because I'm excited about these updates. So Armani has a new Armani Prive fragrance called A Milano. So I'm slowly digging into this collection. Obviously, you saw a video. I did a top 6 fragrances of Armani Prive on the channel a couple months ago. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch it. But A Milano sounds interesting. It's got orris, elemi resin, cypress, citron, citruses, lavender, white musk. So it's kind of like a woody, powdery, resinous, citrusy kind of a fragrance. It sounds very, very interesting, the notes together. Not any like floral notes or anything. So it sounds like it's going to be a little more of an oomfier fragrance rather than, you know, with floral touches, except it's got that lavender in the notes, but lavender to me is more of an aromatic herb rather than a flower, although it has flowers. Anyway, let me know if you're excited for this one. Who's a fan of Armani Prive fragrances? Moving on, we've got one new one coming from BYREDO called Mumbai Noise. Mumbai. It's spelled Mumbai. Mumbai Noise. So I'm very looking forward to this one. Anytime I see Davana in fragrances, I really like it because Davana to me kind of smells licoricey. And this one has very unique notes together. Davana, labdanum, oud, sandalwood, tonka beans, coffee. Coffee keeps coming up. So Davana, labdanum, oud, sandalwood, tonka, coffee together. Very exciting. This doesn't sound like anything I've smelled from this house before. Unique notes together. Exciting. Mumbai Noise. Who's a fan of BYREDO and who's looking forward to this particular release. But I gotta say, BYREDO cranks out a lot of fragrances, don't they? Or do they? They got a lot. We have a store here in San Francisco now, and there's a lot of fragrances there, including their exclusive one that I spoke about recently. Anyway, excited for Mumbai Noise. Okay, the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is a new one from Guerlain, and it's a flanker to Shalimar. It's called Millésime Vanilla Planifolia. It's nothing but vanilla with more vanilla and more vanilla. And I'm a vanilla guy. I got to check this one out. I do enjoy Shalimar, although it smells a little dated, but I like the Shalimar, you know, DNA a lot. So I gotta really check this one out. If they've taken the Shalimar DNA to the vanilla direction, sounds like it's going to be great. Who's a fan of Shalimar? Who's a fan of Guerlain? How many of you have flankers? I haven't really dug into the flankers from Guerlain's Shalimar collection. I basically only have the Eau de Toilette. I gotta dig in. There's some good ones there, I know. But if you are a fan and you have some great ones, let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. Next up, Kerosene has a new fragrance called TRIPTYCH. TRIPTYCH sounds interesting with lemon, geranium, rose, pepper, ambergris, cedar, sandalwood. I haven't been following Kerosene quite a bit, but I'm curious about this one, and I love the name TRIPTYCH. It's definitely most likely going to be in the style of Kerosene fragrances, but I got to kind of circle back and get back to the swing of things and check out some of the previous releases from Kerosene, and of course TRIPTYCH as well, as it sounds like it would be a great fragrance. How many of you know Kerosene fragrances, and what are your favorite Kerosene fragrances? Put a comment down so I can find out. Next up, Jeroboam has a new fragrance called Floro. And I'm a fan of Jeroboam. It's the sister house to Javoy, founded by the man behind the store, Javoy in Paris. He's got two brands, of course, Jeroboam and Javoy, which is one of my favorite houses. And this one sounds great. It sounds fruity, juicy. It sounds, I'm sure the notes in here of pineapple and apple come up to be very juicy and drippy kind of experience. At least that's what I'm hoping. But it's got notes of pineapple, apple, floral notes, jasmine, sandalwood, cedar, woods, and musk. The last two fragrances were very unique, but I'm looking for something really interesting from this house. I feel like Jeroboam, though, is in the shadows of the Javoy brand. So I'm hoping they have something really great, and that it can kind of like make a presence in the scene, on the scene. But the thing that's cool about Jeroboam is that they're 30 ml extract or extrait the parfum concentration fragrances. So higher concentration, more perfume oil in the fragrance, smaller size bottle you can, you know, maneuver and take around with you or travel with, and it won't weigh down your, you know, suitcase or, you know, bags or whatever. Anyway, Jeroboam Floro coming very soon. I'm looking forward to it. So we had one Greek themed fragrance already so far. It was Memo Paris Corfu. Now we have a new one which I don't have my nose on yet. Healy, the brand James Healy. Healy has a new fragrance called Athenian, which features notes of green leaves, galbanum, fig, white tea, sandalwood, and white musk. So I like the idea of this fragrance. I do enjoy Healy's fragrances. I do love fig fragrances, and of course it's called Athenian, I guess because the fig thing and Greece and things like that. I like this idea. I'm looking forward to it. I do enjoy galbanum. I do enjoy green fragrances. This sounds like a green fragrance. Doesn't sound like it's a fig fruitiness, but I don't know. Are they using the fig fruit or are they using the fig leaves? It just says fig, so most likely they're probably using the fruit, and then along with green leaves and galbanum to give off, you know, the green kind of a fig leaf smell. Very exciting fragrance. I'm looking forward to this one, Healy's Athenian. And then one more Greek-themed fragrance. There's a new one from KORRES. I've been speaking about KORRES as a brand here and there. I'm going to do a video on their fragrances very soon. Stay tuned. They have fragrances for 50 ml around $48. And of course, as I mentioned in a video recently, they do have 25% off discounts all the time. If you sign up for their newsletter, you get 25% off of their $48 bottles. So it ends up being about $36. But they also do have 30% off sales. I've gotten those as well. But KORRES has a new fragrance called Aegean Bronze, which to me, looking at the notes, sounds like it's going to be a beachy kind of vanillic floral kind of a thing. Trendy kind of a fragrance. I like the idea of it. And it features notes of citron, Italian bergamot, freesia, caramel, frangipani, sand, vanilla, and musk. Of course, frangipani flower to me always goes tropical. So it is a little tropical, but it could also go kind of, you know, suntan lotiony, beachy kind of a thing. So this to me smells like it's a beachy fragrance. Definitely looking forward to sampling it. It's KORRES Aegean Bronze. Next fragrance, FLORAIKU has a new fragrance called Golden Eyes. Is that the name of a James Bond movie? Sounds like to me. But either way, Golden Eyes sounds really, really interesting to me. Probably one of the most exciting ones from this house because it has notes that are substantial to me, and it looks like this is going to be kind of a more of an intense fragrance to me, at least looking at the notes. But it features notes of patchouli, nutmeg, black tea, cedar, sandalwood, vetiver, leather, bergamot, pink pepper. Exciting fragrance. I'm really, really looking forward to smelling Golden Eyes from FLORAIKU. And I do enjoy the name too. And as I said, it reminds me of James Bond. Is there a movie called Golden Eyes from James Bond? Totally think there is. So the next fragrance I'm talking to you about is another one that's exciting from the house of ATELIER Orange, The Ghost in the Shell. Is that an animated movie or show? I can't remember. Anyway, this particular fragrance sounds very, very interesting to me, and it also sounds very what do you call it? Molecular, like there's molecular notes. So the notes in Ghost in the Shell are hexyl acetate, aqual, yuzu, mugain, milk, jasmine, skin, ambroxan, vinyl guaiacol, I guess it's pronounced vinyl guaiacol, and moss. Very, very interesting notes, right? Ghost in the Shell, I think it's anime, correct? I'm not a big fan of Ghost in the Shell, but I'm attracted to this particular fragrance. I like the notes, very unique, unknown, unfamiliar notes, and I want to smell this fragrance ASAP. Literally ASAP. It sounds very, very exciting to me. And who's a fan of ATELIER Orange? Are you a fan? And what's your favorite ATELIER Orange fragrance? Put a comment down so I can find out. So another house I've been digging into lately, I've done a few videos here and there, is for Laboratorio Olfativo. And they have a new fragrance called Exploud or Explude because it features oud in the notes. So it's spelled E-X-P-L-O-U-D. So does this sound right? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I like the idea or the sound of this particular fragrance because it features white oud, Indian oud, vetiver, ambergris, white sandalwood, patchouli, ambercinide, lily of the valley, magnolia, gardenia, cypriol, pepper. A lot of stuff, but I feel like this is going to be intense with lots of oud, and then more intense note, and then of course there are some floral touches in there as well. So we shall see how it is. I really, really love Vanagloria. I think Dominique Ropion did a great job with that fragrance with the combination of vanilla and an equal amount of incense resins and frankincense and things like that. So I love that fragrance. I'm hoping this will be as good as that particular fragrance. So we shall see. So that's Laboratorio Olfativo Explode. I guess that's how you say it. Anyway, another Italian house that I've spoken about on the channel, I've done a few videos on them, is Rubini, and they have a new fragrance called Nuvolari. Interesting notes. Check these notes out. Gasoline, motor oil, ambroxan, asphalt, Laotian oud, Haitian vetiver, neroli, metallic notes, Bulgarian rose, mint, black pepper, lemon. Very, very interesting notes, right? Gasoline, motor oil, asphalt. Something to do with cars and driving and things like that, I'm assuming. So I really like their previous fragrance, which was coffee and tuberose. The previous fragrance to that was interesting as well, which was not my favorite, but I enjoyed it. But this one sounds adventurous. We shall see how it turns out. I'm very, very curious on how it smells. I'm excited for it. I like the idea of gasoline, motor oil, asphalt in one fragrance, but I hope it's balanced out with some, you know, more fragile notes to kind of like round out the fragrance so it doesn't kind of like lean like really dark and kind of too adventurous kind of a thing. Either way, Rubini Nuvolari sounds really, really exciting. So this has not been announced, but there is some info about this particular fragrance. Essential Parfums is a house that I've spoken about on the channel. Their fragrances are 100 ml for around $90. Niche house with very, very well-known perfumers. The last fragrance was created by, what's his name, Quentin Biche, and they have a new fragrance supposedly inspired by fig leaves or figs, created by Nathalie Lorson, coming out soon. It has not been announced as a name or anything, but I've read somewhere that this is happening potentially by the end of the year or next year. Very, very exciting. Nathalie Lorson working on fig leaf fragrances. I'm very, very excited. So that I'm looking forward to. And the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is one from a house I haven't spoken about at all. In fact, I haven't smelled a fragrance from this house for years. This is Façonnable, and they have a fragrance called Riviera. Who's a fan of this house? It's a French fashion house, but more like, department store rather than like really, really high-end fashion house. So the fragrance from Façonnable features notes of gaiac wood, nutmeg, Italian mandarin, grapefruit, red apple, eucalyptus, incense, white amber, patchouli, and leather. Sounds interesting. It's a designer. As I said, I haven't smelled a Façonnable fragrance for a long time, probably like the mid-2000s. So it's been a long, long time. And I haven't seen them doing new fragrances, but now they have a new one. And I'm very, very curious to smell. I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't kind of go into the way of like very, very generic men's fragrances and it smells a little more interesting, maybe. We shall see, but that's Façonnable Riviera. And that's the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today. What are your thoughts on all these fragrances? Let me know. Put a comment down. What are you excited for? The most excited for? Which fragrances? Put a comment down so I can find out. And of course, the fragrances that I have here, I might do videos on. Let me know which fragrances you'd like to see a review for, of the ones that I actually, smelled on camera with you. I'd like to find out which one you'd like to see a review for. Put a comment down. So either way, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. As I said, also, don't forget this, there's only a few of these left at Twisted Lily. There's probably only about 15 of them. And I have 5 samples here, and the kit costs $25. There is a discount code that saves you 10% off the kit in the info box. But if you end up buying a fragrance after you buy this kit from Twisted Lily, you can go back to Twisted Lily and use a $25 off discount on the fragrance, or any fragrance you buy from there. Anyway, this is my Twisted Lily sampler kit. I have a link to it in the info box. Other than that, thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.